Okay, Shreya.
जय सच्चिदानंद। अम्बे पुण्यशाली
અમે કેવા પુણ્યશાળી
ભગવાનની ભૂમિકા આ દેહ મેં નિહાળી
ભગવાનની ભૂમિકા દેહ મેં નિહાળી
અમે કેવા ભાગ્યશાળી
અમે કેવા ભાગ્યશાળી
જ્ઞાની પુરુષ પાસે મુક્તિની ચાવી બાળી
જ્ઞાની પુરુષ પાસે મુક્તિની ચાવી ભાડી
અમે કેવા પુણ્યશાળી
અમે કેવા પુણ્યશાળી
આગમ સ્વરૂપ થાવું એ માર્ગ મુક્તિનો છે
આગમ સ્વરૂપ થાવું એ માર્ગ મુક્તિનો છે
સપ્ત ક્રમશમાવું આસ્વાદ શ્રુતિનો છે
સપ્તકમાં શમાવું આસ્વાદ શ્રુતિનો છે
આસ્વાદ શ્રુતિનું છે
આસ્વાદ શ્રુતિનો છે
વાંધાને વચકાસહુ
વાંધાને વચકાસૌ
અજ્ઞાન માન્યતાઓ એણે દીધી ઉડાવી
અજ્ઞાન માન્યતાઓ એણે દીધી ઉડાવી
અમે કેવા પુણ્યશાળી
અમે કેવા પુણ્યશાળી
અમે કેવા ભાગ્યશાળી
અમે કેવા ભાગ્યશાળી
જય સચિદાનંદ
जय सच्चिदानंद. ओके, आज तो कुछ छुट्टी लगती है एनीवे. तो श्रेया, आप 9 कलम बुलाए, आपका टर्न हो जाएगा. आप बोलो.
पूरा 9 कलम
यस यस, कोई नहीं दूसरा है.
જય સચિદાનંદ. હે દાદા ભગવાન, મને કોઈ પણ દેહધારી જીવાત્માનો કિંચિત માત્ર પણ અહમ ન દુભાય, ન દુભાવાય કે દુભાવવા પ્રત્યેના અનુમોદાય એવી પરમ શક્તિ આપો. મને કોઈ પણ દેહધારી જીવાત્માનો કિંચિત માત્ર પણ અહમ ન દુભાય એવી સ્યાદવાદ વાણી, સ્યાદવાદ વર્તન અને સ્યાદવાદ મનન કરવાની પરમ શક્તિ આપો. હે દાદા ભગવાન, મને કોઈ પણ ધર્મનું કિંચિત માત્ર પણ પ્રમાણ ન દુભાય, ન દુભાવાય કે દુભાવવા પ્રત્યેના અનુમોદાય એવી પરમ શક્તિ આપો. મને કોઈ પણ ધર્મનું કિંચિત માત્ર પણ પ્રમાણ ન દુભાય, એવી સ્યાદવાદ વાણી, સ્યાદવાદ વર્તન અને સ્યાદવાદ મનન કરવાની પરમ શક્તિ આપો. હે દાદા ભગવાન, મને કોઈ પણ દેધાથી ઉપદેશક, સાધુ સાધ્વી કે આચાર્યનો અમણવાત, અપરાધ, અવિનય ન કરવાની પરમ શક્તિ આપો. હે દાદા ભગવાન, મને કોઈ પણ દેધારી જીવાત્મા પ્રત્યે કિંચિત માત્ર પણ અભાવ તિરસ્કાર ક્યારે પણ ન કરાય, ન કરાવાય કે કરતા પ્રત્યેના અનુમોદાય એવી પરમ શક્તિ આપો. હે દાતા ભગવાન, મને કોઈ પણ દેહધારી જીવાત્મા સાથે ક્યારે પણ કઠોર ભાષા, તંતેલી ભાષા ન બોલાય, ન બોલાવાય કે બોલવા પ્રત્યેના અનુમોદાય એવી પરમ શક્તિ આપો. કોઈ કઠોર ભાષા, તંતેલી ભાષા બોલે તો મને મૃદુ રુજુ ભાષા બોલવાની શક્તિઓ આપો. હે દાદા ભગવાન, મને કોઈ પણ દેહધારી જીવાત્મા પ્રત્યે સ્ત્રી, પુરુષ, અગર નપુંસક ગમે તે લિંગધારી હોય તો તેના સંબંધી કિંચિત માત્ર પણ વિષય વિકાર સંબંધી દોષો, ઈચ્છાઓ, ચેષ્ટાઓ કે વિચાર સંબંધી દોષો ન કરાય, ન કરાવાય કે કરતા પ્રત્યેના અનુમોદાય એવી પરમ શક્તિ આપો. મને નિરંતર નિર્વિકાર રહેવાની પરમ શક્તિ આપો. હે દાતા ભગવાન, મને કોઈ પણ રસમાં લુપ્તપણું ન કરાય એવી શક્તિ આપો. સમરસે ખોરાક લેવા એવી પરમ શક્તિ આપો. હે દાદા ભગવાન, મને કોઈ પણ દેહધારી જીવાત્માનો પ્રત્યક્ષ કે પરોક્ષ જીવંત કે મૃત્યુ પામેલાનો કોઈનો કિંચિત માત્ર પણ અમણવાત, અપરાધ, અવિનય ન કરાય, ન કરાવાય કે કરતા પ્રત્યેના અનુમોદાય એવી પરમ શક્તિ આપો. હે દાદા ભગવાન, મને જગત કલ્યાણ કરવાનું નિમિત્ત બનવાની પરમ શક્તિ આપો, શક્તિ આપો, શક્તિ આપો. જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
Jai Satchidanand. Keval, can you do the first three Naukalamo in English? Okay, loudly.
Oh, Dada Bhagwan, please give me infinite inner strength to never hurt any living being through my mind, speech, and body. Hey, Dada Bhagwan, please give me infinite inner strength to never hurt the foundational belief of any other religion or faith, since they are correct but not the same. Hey, Dada Bhagwan, please give me infinite inner strength to never say bad things or show disregard to teachers, preachers, monks, nuns, or anyone I learn from.
Okay, Jai Satchidanand. Okay, Shaileshanandji, can you do three mantra, please?
Yeah. Namo Vitragaya,
નમો વીતરાગાય,
Namo Arihantanam,
નમો અરિહંતાણમ,
Namo Siddhanam,
નમો સિદ્ધાણમ,
Namo Ayariyanam,
નમો આયર્યાણમ,
Namo Vasayanam,
નમો વજ્રાયાણમ,
Namo Loe Sawa Sahunam,
નમો દોય સર્વસાહણમ,
Eso Panchanamukaro,
એસો પંચ નમોકારો,
Sawa Pavapanasanam,
સર્વ પાપનાશનમ,
Mangalanaj Sauesim,
મંગળાણમ સર્વસિદ્ધિં,
Padmam Havai Mangalam,
પડવમ હવે મંગલમ.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya,
ઓમ નમો ભગવતે વાસુદેવાય,
Om Namah Shivaya,
ઓમ નમઃ શિવાય.
Jai Satchidanand.
જય
Jai Satchidanand. Daily prayer, Keval.
Oh, Dada Bhagwan, please give me infinite inner strength such that I never compromise on health, so that my body as an instrument is always helpful to me in accomplishing my life goal of studies and satsang. I will always remain sincere in studies. I will always stay away from bad company and bad habits. And whatever happens, please shower your divine grace such that I never ever miss my satsang. May I use my mind, speech, body, instrument, and my soul as all my resources to oblige others, which is the best religion. I will always remain sincere, moral, and pure in mind, speech, body, and in all my dealing with self and everyone's lives may become man of personality for excellent exactly as Nada Bhagwan. Oh, Nada Bhagwan, I further resolve to always listen to my parents and never back consider them arrogantly. Please give me infinite inner strength in this regards. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand, very good. Did you have any problem with your mama today? Yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can share
No.
about
No,
this.
you don't have to ask Mama. You ask yourself. Okay, very good. Okay, study prayer. Keval?
Oh, the book one. I'm determined to break all the barriers, obstacles, and obstructions that come to me in studying and understanding. Please shower your divine grace and break the veils of my vision and give me that infinite strength to make my learning the best. Jai Sachidanand.
That's a very good. Divya. Hey, Dada Bhagwan.
हम हैं
हम है आपके बच्चे
दिल के हैं चुच्चे दिल
दिल के हैं अच्छे
दिल भी है कच्चे
फिर भी है कच्चे
काम करेंगे अच्छे
काम करेंगे अच्छे अच्छे
जय सच्चिदानंद
जय सच्चिदानंद very good okay who knows the three separation sentences in English Kaval you know yeah go ahead Kaval
Oh, Dada Bhagwan. Oh, pure soul, Dada Bhagwan. You are separate. Body, soul, cable is separate. Oh, pure soul, Dada Bhagwan. You are real. Body, self, cable is relative. Oh, Dada Bhagwan. Oh, pure soul, Dada Bhagwan. You are permanent. Body, self, cable is temporary.
okay very good Gujarati ma Surya
જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ હે શુદ્ધાત્મા દાદા ભગવાન તમે જુદા છો શ્રેયા જુદી છે હે શુદ્ધાત્મા દાદા ભગવાન તમે રિયલ છો શ્રેયા રિલેટિવ છે હે શુદ્ધાત્મા દાદા ભગવાન તમે પરમનન્ટ છો શ્રેયા ટેમ્પરરી છે જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ
that's okay very good okay let us talk about your Niyam. Okay, there's an improvement in Niyam from last week, or how are we doing? Okay, Keval.
On Sunday I have 4 out of 6.
Just a weekly summary.
Oh, okay. On Sunday I did.
This last week, what you did.
Oh,
No, it's Niyam for whole week, and how did you do?
wait. 6 rests I did 80%. Exercise I did 60%. Go to bed at 8:30 I did 40%. Satsang I did 90%. Pratikraman I did 100%. Study in Satsang or Sunday Satsang I did 100%. Learn Gujarati I did 100%. Practice guitar I did 85%. Help parents I did 85%. Not get angry at parents I did 100%. Less than 1 hour of screen time I did 60%.
Okay, very good. What was that 40% in what?
Going to bed at 8:30.
Okay, you need to change that Niyam because talk with Mama and you have to. Niyam is Niyam. You have to do whatever is good for you. Okay, Shreya Didi.
Jai Satchidanand. My first niyam, wake up at 5:45. I did 70% progress. My second niyam, to do 10 minutes Kirtan Bhakti daily. I did 60% progress. My third niyam, to do math practice 20 sums daily. I did 80% progress. My fourth niyam, to do Satsadhan. I did 60% progress. And fifth niyam, to do super brain yoga. I did 90%.
Arush.
As my first name is that I will do Satsadhan in that 100% and doing it everything in it is 95% and do revision of the studies is 100%.
Sakshi Bhau.
Hey Sachidanand, my first name was that I have to wake up at 6 o'clock. So it have 80% progress. My second name was that I have to don't break column 1 with mommy. So it have also 80% progress. My third name was that I have to do everyday extra study. So it has 90% progress. My fourth name was that I have to do Satsang. So it have 80% progress. And my fifth name was that to do brain yoga. So it has also 100% progress.
Okay. Deepakanji.
Hey Sachidanand, very good analysis, and wherever you're falling short, uh, keep a good focus on it and try to improve the percentage gradually. Wherever you are lacking, find out what was the reason, because you only know what you did. So with this analysis, it will be easier for you where you're going wrong and correct yourself. And one of the wonderful thing what Keval said, wherever he went wrong, he has not missed his Pratikraman. That is very good. Jai Sachidanand.
Okay, Jai Sachidanand. So, Shailesh Dada, please talk to children. You heard them, and how they can try to achieve their niyam so regularity becomes a norm.
Yes, I like to listen from them, whatever they want, but on the whole, they are doing good, I think. Very
Yes.
good, appreciated, and our hearty wishes to do better and better. So now, only thing is, it's good to decide niyam yourself, but decide the niyams so that your growth can be overall, means holistic growth. So you can think and decide the niyams wherever our prakriti or our relative self needs better refinement or overall growth. I think you can go. Next step is you can decide niyams in those ways. But on the whole, really happy and appreciating.
Doctor, just one information. These names, whatever they have highlighted and they've said, this is in relation with the three goals what they have in their life. One is health, second is studies, and third is satsang.
Yeah, that's good. That's perfectly good. That's perfectly good, I would say.
Yeah. So, and they also, Shaileshan Dada, they also chose it themselves. They say whatever you want to improve, you just.
Yes, that's very good. That's why I appreciate it. Now I'm just inspiring them to widen their choices so that their own growth can be still better. For example, they can add to have more humility towards all elders, and then next toward all living, means all their relations or all human beings, something like that. So, but on the whole, it's really good. And as Deepakanandji said, keeping in mind the three goals. But if we talk of satsang, then Dadaji's first basic sentence was, in Gujarati, Param Vinay thi જ મોક્ષ છે અને પરમ વિનયથી તું સંસારમાં પણ બહુ સુખી થઈશ. That's the first fundamental sentence of Dada Bhagwan. So just I'm inspiring them to have a little wider scope that, okay, whether they are able to have utmost respect or humility towards all the elderly people and then towards all the human beings or colleagues, something like that. But on the whole, they are doing that. Now let them ask or talk whatever they want to.
Okay, you talked about the Gujarati. Can you translate it in English?
Yeah, Param Vinay thi જ મોક્ષ છે means utmost humility will lead to liberation, and with utmost humility you will also be very happy and attaining all worthwhile in your worldly living.
Okay, so Shaileshanandji, let us talk with them. What does humility mean to each of them? Keval,
Yeah.
what does humility mean to you?
Let them
Yeah.
first
Right.
talk what they understand, and then we'll definitely.
Right. Keval, what do you think of? Shaileshanandji says, Dada Bhagwan says, humility will lead you to lots of happiness and to
Even to
eventually
liberation.
moksha,
Yes, liberation.
liberation. So, Keval, what do you think humility means?
Respect.
Loud.
Respect.
Respect.
Okay, what does respect mean?
Being nice.
That's what?
Being nice, he says.
Doing nice. Okay. What do you respect? Do you respect most of the things or people? Okay. Itaxiba?
I respect to mom and dad and other people who are elder from me.
Now, what is the meaning of humility in your mind?
Hmm.
What do
I
you
don't.
think it means? Okay. Very good. Sharia, what do you think humility means?
To be sincere.
Sincere. Okay. Are you sincere? What does sincerity mean to you?
Be particular in one thing or a goal.
Particular one thing only? You do
No,
50
like be
things a day.
particular all around.
Okay. Okay. Now, Shailesh Dada.
Yeah. So humility is the quality of our heart and our attitude. So first of all, we have to have humility towards all the elderly people. First, our parents, then our teachers, preachers, or in relative, our parents, and in real, Gnani Purus who is showing us the path. Then everything which is helping us towards the satsang path, we have to be paying great respect, and that's from our heart. Then to all our fellow beings also, from our heart, we are not only respectful but humble. So we have the humbleness or humility. Now what happens? What's the advantage of it? In relative as well as real, let's talk about that. So in a relative or a worldly or interconnected living, being humble gives us lots of benefits. First of all, it makes our heart clear and open. We receive blessings and good wishes from all the people with which we are being humble, or with which we behave with humility. We free of cost, we gain their achievements or their powers, or whatever they have attained, we get free of cost. Our untoward ego gets away, or the ego melts down. So the universe also offers us the lot of great things. We may have talked these examples several times in the satsang, but this was a feast to our eyes. It was a great lesson in 1978 or 79. We all went to Abu. Dadaji took us to Mount Abu, where the Akram Vignan was to be started. And on one fine day, he took us around to visit several places. At one place, one blind monk was sort of lying in a cot, and Dadaji almost did the Sastang Pranam to him. So we started wondering in our mind that Dadaji has a very high stature. He's a great height in spirituality or whatever you tell. So it's okay that he can behave respectfully, but why so much that he did the Sastang Pranam? But we didn't spell it out or ask, but in the evening when we were all sitting, Dadaji opened out the secret. Dadaji said in relative living, A.M. Patel is the smallest of small, means humblest of humble. So he can pay utmost respect equivalent to Sastang Pranam. But what happened when I offered, Dadaji said, when I did the Sastang Pranam, he blessed me so much so that I got the benefit or fruit of entire inner energy which he had accumulated throughout the penance or sadhana of his life. So I got it free of cost by just doing this humility or the Sastang, almost Sastang Dandavat Pranam. And in real, I am Aguru Laghu, means I am greatest on one side and means there cannot be. So this is a benefit or a power of relative humility. And in a real, what does it mean? Vinay means Vishesh Nai, means when we see with two viewpoints, the Pakananji has given the three separation sentences. So when I look from only one viewpoint, relativity is one aspect or one vision. When I look with both, in everybody, when we try to see Shuddhatma Dada Bhagwan, it's a two viewpoints, real and relative. That is the beginning of Vinay. And ultimately, when it grows, it will take us to liberation. So this is a very fundamental, beneficial quality. If we can pay attention and develop that, I think it will offer us a lot more or a very great success in all walks of our life, relative as well as real. In a modern life or in a present living, looking around, we may not develop this quality very well, because especially you youngsters feel that, oh, we all are same. Parents are not doing any great job to us or whatever. So it's okay. You are good. You are open. You are friendly. But probably this one quality, humility, can be cultivated looking to the great souls. And if you look to all great souls, Lord Mahavir was so humble with his mother that he did everything, whatever he could do to keep his mother happy. Similarly, all great souls, including Dada Bhagwan, Lord Mahavir or anybody, they had this fundamental quality of great humility. Am I right, Deepakanandji?
Correct, absolutely.
Okay, so how do we cultivate? Keval, how are you cultivating humility? By you do certain things daily. So how do you think that humility is being built into you? Any idea?
I could try to get angry less.
Get a what? Angry?
I could try to get angry less.
Less
Kind of
angry.
try to get what?
Less angry.
Deepakanji, what is he saying?
Come
Dada, what
closer.
is,
Less angry.
by what?
What? Get angry?
He's saying getting less angry.
Less angry,
Getting less.
not getting
Yeah,
not to get
yeah,
angry.
not getting it. Yeah, thank you. I know you just woke up. Okay. How about you, Shreya? What you doing during day that makes you more humble day by day?
To help my mother.
Is what?
To
Help
help
my
my
mother.
Help
Help my mother.
Yes, yes. Itaksiba?
Sir, sincere in study and also help to my mom.
What's that?
Help my mom and do
Well,
sincere studies.
okay, okay. Now, but why do we do the sat sadhans? How does that help? Shailesh Dada, isn't that part of we become human,
Yes.
humility? Human?
Yes.
How does that? Please share the science for that. How does it work?
Are you asking me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
science behind,
yeah.
why we do, yeah.
Yeah. So, right from Namaskar Vidhi and Trimantra Vidhi, we are bowing to great souls. So, bowing is the first feature of humility, right? So we are going to Simandar Swami, we are going to Om Parmesti, Panch Parmesti, Tirthankars, Vitrag deities, impartial deities, Sri Krishna Bhagavan, Dada Bhagavan. So all the salutations in Namaskar Vidhi. Even in three mantra, we are going to 5 greatly evolved souls from self-realization to the ultimate complete or Arihantas. Then we go to Vasudev, we go to. So here we are going to the greatly evolved souls. Then if you look in the Namaskar Vidhi or salutations, Dadaji has given 3 universal sentences. I go to real form of every living being. Real form is the God form. So I see the God form in every living being. Real form is the Shuddhatma form. So I see Shuddhatma in every living being. Real form is the elemental or the pure element form or Tattva Swarup. So I see every living being with the pure elemental vision. So this teaches us, see, bowing is the greatest way to cultivate humility. Wherever you can bow overtly from outside with body, mind, and speech, it is very good. If we can't do that, from within we bow. So, as Rajni Dada was asking, how can we cultivate humility in our daily living? I was made to learn by my mother to bow. So I periodically used to bow my mother at the time of exams, on New Year Day, on my birthday, on certain specific or auspicious days. Then I was taught to bow to the saints and other people. So similarly, we can cultivate slowly the humility. And wherever overtly, if you feel ashamed of bowing, then from your heart, at least you can. So Dadaji said that in India, the humility has many forms, right? We say namaskar with our heart, heartily pure. That's beginning of humility. Then to Lord we do Shastanga Pranam. So in between there are many steps of humility in a relative form, similarly the real form. Science I already opened down that by being humble, my heart, doors of my heart opens. It is a lot more clarity. Not only the other person gives me blessings and his or her energy, all his or her help is available, all cooperation, love, affection, everything is available to me just by being humble. And inside, it opens out the receptors, my inner receptors, by alleviating my negative ego, and the universe can also offer me. This is in terms of relative and real. I already told that the real vision begins with Vinay, means relative and real. These are the two viewpoints. The real journey starts from there. So this is just I'm urging you to just read a little bit of Dada Bhagwan's Satsang on Param Vinay or Vinay, and you also think what it can. Now I give you the reverse scenario. You think that so many people are coming in your contacts, or so many people you may be having behavior, friends, your colleagues, your neighbors, and so with whom your heart is happy, those who are behaving humbly with you, or those who are rude and arrogant with you. So your heart will immediately say, oh, I'm very happy, I'll shower everything to those who are humble and uh, uh, good to me, right? So this is how you observe. So what I'm saying is, see, this is one fundamental Dadaji opened out for us, Param Vinay or utmost humility. Now we have to think that how Dadaji lived, what he said, what is the science, how can I imbibe that into my living, what will be the benefit. So that will open out the whole inner treasure of bliss, energy, infinite, knowing power, infinite, seeing power and everything. See, Vitrags attain these heights by just simply following such fundamentals. Okay?
So, Shailesh Dada, when we do Jai Satchidanand,
That is also a way of a great humility. It is. But then it should be heartily, Jai Satchidanand. Now the second part, even if the other person misses or doesn't say us Jai Satchidanand, we should not miss out on telling them Jai Satchidanand. Right? Otherwise, what happens? Twice Deepakanandji doesn't tell me Jai Satchidanand, so third time I also doesn't tell him Jai Satchidanand. Then we both are losers. At least I am the loser. So say Jai Satchidanand. Second, say even if the other person is not saying you, for your own benefit. Yes,
Okay.
it is a great way.
Now, Shailesh Dada said heartily. I don't understand that. Shreya, to say Jai Satchidanand heartily, what does that mean? I don't understand. Do you understand, Shreya? No? Keval?
Say it like meaningfully.
Takshiba?
No.
So, Shailesh Dada, teach us how to use the say heartily. We don't know how heartily means.
See, there are instances when you do for the sake of doing. At least I think you understand that you have done it unwillingly or less willingly or for the sake of doing. Suppose I tell you to bow your parents. If you are not happy at your heart, you do it for sake of doing or you do it because you have to do it. You understood that point? At the other corner is heartily, where your heart itself feels happy, where your heart gets fully involved into it. We say with my heart and soul, I am doing that. It's like that. Where my own heart feels happy and completely involved into that. That is what I mean by heartily.
Okay, so let us practice that, because Jai
It's not,
Satchidanand.
it's not by saying of somebody. It's not because somebody is telling me to do. It's not because I have to do it, but it's because I feel like doing it. I am happy doing it.
You feel we could see you do this.
Mom, you're not on mute.
Okay.
What Mama telling you? Keval,
I
what
was she was saying something and she was not on mute.
I'll give you another sort of analogy. 4 people or 5 people are watching and I have to do Jai Satchidanand because otherwise the other people will feel bad. That is for the sake of doing. Nobody is watching, or even if they are watching or not, but because I'm doing, because I'm feeling like doing it heartily, that's heartily. Not to show anybody else, but to show my own God within. In witness of my pure soul Dada Bhagwan within.
And Shailesh, aren't we also then when we say Jai Satchidanand, I'm bowing to Dada Bhagwan in you also?
Yes, it is. It is. The meaning
that
of Jai Satchidanand is I am going to Shuddhatma Dada Bhagwan of that person to whom I am doing Jai Satchidanand. Yes, it is
So
that same.
It is called that way. If you do it, is it heartily?
Yes, it is heartily, but
Okay.
sometimes, see, I have no right to say that it is not heartily, but the heartily, why the word is being used in Vitrag Marg. See, I give you another example. 5-7 people go to temple. Everybody bows, puts flowers and do worship. Do you think everybody will get similar benefit or similar fruit, or will have different fruits or different benefits? What do you think? 5, 7, 10 people are doing one thing in temple. Do you think everybody will get the similar benefit or similar result, or they will have a different ones?
Shreya?
This is a simple question. Itakshiba?
Shreya, what do you think? Itakshiba?
Yes.
Will they get same or they will get
Arush?
different?
Arush?
Different.
Yes.
Different. Keval?
Different.
Why? Answer is correct. Now the second question is why?
Arush, you said different. Why?
You are absolutely correct. But now let us take it ahead. Why?
Did you take a guess? How about you, the Keval?
Even if it is yes, it is. Right.
One person is getting the flowers and the other people are not.
See, the Lord looks at what is within your heart, what you are, with what intention, with what, whether heartily, not heartily, with what intention, with what, how, what is going on inside you. That's more valued than what is being seen outside. The actions are valued, but they are less valued. What is your within your heart, your intentions, your feelings, your attitudes, your purpose of doing that, your heart, in other words, your heart and bow. The exact word is bow. They are more valued. They are looked upon, right? So I tell you another story. You will enjoy that. The story goes like that in times of Neminath, Lord Neminath, Lord Krishna goes to Bhave because he came to know that Lord Neminath has attained absolute or Keval Jnana. Now when he goes, his heart is so overwhelming that he goes to 18,000 monks in front of Neminath. And there was another fellow like me, he was accompanying Lord Krishna. He saw that Lord Krishna is bowing, so he also bowed to all of them. Then Lord Krishna says to Neminath that I was so overwhelmed at my heart that I bowed to 18,000 monks, but I'm now tired. So Lord Neminath, mildly smiling, says, "Oh Krishna, you have obtained such a great fruit by bowing to these 18,000 monks that by that heartily heart, he is going to be 12th Tirthankar in the next cycle of 24 Tirthankars. That seed was sown there." So the next fellow who was accompanying Lord Krishna became happy. Okay, Lord Krishna gets such a great fruit. I also will get at least 75% of that. So he also asks Lord Neminath, "Sir, Lord, what do I get? I also did the same thing as Lord Krishna did." And Lord Neminath replies that you got the benefit of exercise. What he says? You got the benefit of physical exercise. And he was astonished that how can Lord be such a partial entity to Lord Krishna? He says such a great benefit, and I did the same thing, and I just, I'm having the benefit of only exercise. So then Lord Neminath said that Krishna did with different heart, different vows, different purpose and attitudes, because he had that understanding. You didn't have that understanding, so you just saw Krishna doing and you just did it mechanically. What did he do? He did just mechanically. So that's what the Vitarag mark stands at. Right?
Okay? Okay? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, and think about this, humility and heart.
These are just I'm taking you to a great world of inner Vitarag science. So it's not a bothering thing, just have it and you will reap the benefits of it.
But one thing, please, when you do Jai Satchidanand, now try to put heart in your expressions, okay? Jai Satchidanand, everybody.
It should come from the heart. In simple words, it should come from the heart.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Keval, your mama is there? Sheetalben, you have a question?
Yes, I mean, just related to this humility topic, Shaileshanandji said, Dada Bhagwan said in Vevar, I'm the smallest. I don't fully understand. How do you develop that humility in Vevar, Laghutam Bhave apde? That because in Vevar it's always oh, this person, you know, it's both ways. Sometimes you feel inferiority, sometimes you feel superiority complex. It's both ways. So how do you develop this Laghutam Bhave and stay within normality? In especially with, you know, when you certain people.
Shaileshanandji, can you unmute? Okay, okay.
So thank you for allowing me
Okay.
to unmute
Then let's,
sometimes. Yeah.
Deepakanji, I'll be see you later, okay? Jai Satchidanand.
Okay, Jai Satchidanand.
So Sheetal, this is a very wonderful point. The superiority and inferiority, it's at the level of mind and ego. So that feels superiority or inferiority. Whereas humility or Laghutam Bhave, it's at the level of heart, whereby the discharged ego mellows down. And the second is real vision. That's leave it aside. The Laghutam Bhave is at the relative level where my ego mellows down. And you must have heard, all of us must have heard this aphorism that more the vidya or more the achievements, the smaller or more humble the person becomes. It's like a mango tree having so many mango fruits just bows down with the fruits. So similarly, it is said that more you have skills, more you have vidya, more you have achievements with understanding, and you become more and more humble. So the person having other strengths do not need the strength of ego. With most humility, he can be as powerful in the Vyavhar. The person with scarcity of other strengths need to use the weapon of ego. Oh, I'm something. I'm greater than you. So it's other way around, that more you become accomplished, more you become really humble in relative. So Dada Bhagwan, having the entire 14 world at his disposal, everything, in relative, he never required ego. His ego was at zero. Discharge ego was at zero. And that's how he was humblest of humble or smallest of small in the relative world. It's at the level of existential ego being, not at the level of accomplishments. So he said, I am smallest of small. Somebody says you are this and that, you are donkey. I said, I'm still smaller than that. I'm smaller than what you can think. But it's not accomplishment wise, it's at the level of the discharge ego by understanding, I would say. And more you can have that, that gives you inner strength. And that inner strength will obviously alleviate the need for superiority or inferiority ego feeding.
I see. Inner strength.
To be experienced. You have one experiences the journey.
So for Mahatmas, what's the journey through Panch Agnya? Really, all of that opens out the
Panch Agnya is the basic format, and it's adequate till moksha or absolute knowledge opening out, a Keval Gnan. It's adequate and it will lead till the Keval Gnan. But what happens is the 5 Agnyas, how we understand it, how we apply it during each phase of our life, especially the inner happenings, I would say. Outer happenings, yes, it may be easy to apply the 5 Agnyas, but for the inner machinery or inner happenings, how best I can understand and apply the 5 Agnyas. That's the most important part of the thing, right?
Right. So, Shaileshanandji, you said as inner strength develops, you don't need to rely on ego.
Yes.
So what kind of inner strength are you talking about? Is it just that the ability to address and adjust to any situation, or what do you mean by
Yes,
inner strength there?
there are two types of strength. One is the inner strength at the level of my relative being.
Okay.
And another is the strength of pure soul self. That I'm not mentioning here. The pure soul has its own strength. I'm abode of infinite knowing power. I'm abode of infinite seeing power. I'm abode of infinite strength. That in itself is a strength. But the relative strength, which gives me, we say self-confidence. Self-confidence is also not a proper word. But I would say self-fulfilling experience, or I'm self-fulfilled at my level of being or level of living. So in any situation or anything, I will be stable, fully on my own, fulfilled, and will not be influenced by other things. See, when I have the feeling of inadequacy, or whatever you are saying, super, if I have a less money, I'll be influenced by a person who is having a lot more money. If I have a less education, I'll be influenced by a person who is having a lot more education. So to get influenced is a different thing. If I am having inner strength, adequate inner strength, I will absorb the good qualities. I'll look at good things. I'll appreciate, but I'll not get overshadowed or influenced by the outer things.
So
this much I can explain in the words. I think some things are beyond the expression in the words. But I hope that with presence of Dada Bhagwan dwelling in all of us, everybody will understand what we are just deliberating at the moment. So Laghutam Bhav is the result of, as we progress, as we imbibe the Vitrag Vignan in relative as well as real, the Laghutam Bhav will come as a result.
Is it possible to maybe give some examples of your own journey in
so many of the examples means, see, for example, I'm working at hospital and my staff is there.
Yeah.
Okay, obviously you will feel that you have to behave like a boss. Then only the staff will be disciplined.
Correct.
Now Dadaji had lived differently and I'm also experiencing differently. By no way they are going to replace me because I have a different role, they have a different role. So if I can be loving with them, many a times they don't feel that I'm their boss, I'm fine. So Dadaji also lived like that. He won the world with love. There were so many laborers working with him. So he hardly did bossism onto them, but he was always full of love, care and sharing, caring, sharing and loving to the people who were working with him. So this is one example. Otherwise, in a relative living world, you always are conscious of your position. And when you are conscious of your position, you try to show your position. And you feel that if I don't show my position, the others will not behave well. That's not correct. So this is one example. Similarly, with so many people, maybe in satsang, maybe in other areas, there's no need for me to show that I'm doctor and I'm this and I'm that and I'm fine as a normal person. And people will, those who are understanding will understand, those who don't, there's no need for it. I have to do my role. Right?
Right.
So I think Dadaji's Gyan has made these transformations of almost all Mahatmas. Barring aside some teams of Prakruti, mostly the Mahatmas have gone through this.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if I make my own observation in my corporate world, I feel that there there are people who may not be the smartest, but they're very good with dealing with people and their own employees, and they get things done just as well.
Yes.
And they
Not
and
just
they're
as well, probably
happier.
better. I would say probably better.
Better. And they're happier, their staff is happier, and their working environment is very nice. So I feel I'm having a realization that it's more about how you deal with people,
How your heart is with the people. Yeah.
how your heart is with the people.
So
Heart.
Dadaji used to use this sentence: to policemen you will salute whenever he is in front of you. When he turns back, you will abuse him. But to the Gnani, you will hold your hands even at his back. Right? Because he is idol of love.
Yes, yes.
Simple single quality of Dada Bhagwan was idol of love. And when you can be idol of love, when you are small, when you don't have that relative ego, or you are not relatively, means you are relatively smallest of small.
Right, right. Yeah. Both of us. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand. Dr. Lalita Ben.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand, Lalita ji.
And Deepak Anandji.
Jai Satchidanand.
I just want to touch on humility.
Yeah.
There are some quotes, Socrates has said, true knowledge lies in knowing that you know nothing. And humility is one such thing that when you think you have it, you lost it.
Yeah.
Something to think about. But my question is, we talked about Antar Akash. When I talked to you one satsang ago, I don't remember which. And, on a gross level, the Akash that I'm aware of is, auditory canals, respiratory system, GI tract. And everything you've done anatomically, the tissues are all packed together. There's really no space there. So this is at a gross level. At a sukshma level, what is Antara Akash? Or where is it?
So, number one, Antar Akash or space is an element which is everywhere. So outside us also, inside us also, there is adequate of Akash or space between two molecules or atoms. Also there is some space or Akash, then only they can be separated. The things can be separated or broken or cut only when there is a space. Even the diamond has the least of it, but there is a space. Unless if there would not have been the space or Akash, you cannot cut the diamond by any means. So this is one gross thing. Now, within us, there are all 6 elements and space. Akash is also there. Now here the Antar Akash, what do we probably significantly understand by it is that as we are cleaning the mistakes or as we are unburdened by our karmas and mistakes, the inner scope becomes more and more, the inner space or Antar Akash gets clearer and wider. And because the conglomerates of those atoms and molecules which were there with the mistakes and Pratikraman and other things are just getting away or they are getting shed off. So that this Antar Akash becomes wider and clearer. And ultimately when one is free of all such atoms and molecules or karmic bonds of mistakes or burdens, the Antar Akash is fully blossomed or blown, or it's so light or a thing. And ultimately, the ultimate atoms and molecules, when they are shed off during once firstly the covering layers are shed off, so the person attains keval jnana or absolute knowledge and experience. And then the ultimate atoms and molecules of the body self are also shed off. So what remains is the pure self and Avkash or Akash. And with the help of that Akash element, the element of motion, Gati Sahayak Tattva, just lifts up the pure soul to the junction of Lok and Alok, beyond which there is no influence of all these elements, Gati Sahayak or Sthiti Sahayak. So it steadies down there. So this is what probably I have understood a little bit from Dada Bhagwan. See, my karmic conglomerates are so compact, then the inner Avkash or Akash will be very less, and it will be clumsy and crowded and clouded and whatever word you use it. More and more it gets clearer and dissipated and lighter by inner Antarakash gets clearer, free of clouds of karmas. So my understanding becomes clear. I feel lighter, and all likewise I go on progressing.
That's very nice. Thank you. I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
The difference between dravya karma and no karma. You know, I understand both to be effect. But Dada, I read somewhere that Dada said dravya karma is really a sukshma karma. And, you know, I mean, I have a very superficial understanding then, because I thought dravya karma was what was visible and what I could see.
No, what you can see is only at the five senses or body level. Dravya karma is discharge, that is right, but it is the inner belief spectacle or inner spectacle of antaskaran. So in fact, dravya karma is at the level of relative inner self or antaskaran. So dravya karma is the vision, inner vision, which is the resultant of the discharge karmic bonds or effects at the level of antaskaran, or it is the spectacle or inner spectacle of antaskaran or the relative inner self, which is working as a result of the effect of discharge karmic bonds. So it is the inner vision of antaskaran, inner spectacle of antaskaran, that is mainly the dravya karma. And no karma are the effects associated or arising out of these dravya karmas or the inner and outer circumstances, which are experienced through five senses and the outer self. So that's
what's visible is no karma.
Is no karma, yeah. So dravya karma is a subtle one. Yes, it is very correct. And see how we understand dravya karma more. Even for Mahatmas or for the worldly people. And we see that throughout the life, it's our inner machinery, inner understanding, clarity or lack of clarity or whatever is working, which is really causing us to take decisions, right or wrong, make suffer here and there. So it's the inner one, which is, even though I'm Shuddhatma, in my relative happenings, the discharge dravya karma is playing a role along with the Vyavasthit. Yes, the prajna can help it by showing light and something, but ultimately it is the discharge dravya karma. And the discharge dravya karma is again broken down into 8 segments for the sake of explanation by the absolute ones. That is Gnana Varniya karma, Darshana Varniya karma, Mohaniya karma, Antaraya karma, Nam Roop, Gotra, Ayu, Shata. These are all the coming through the spectacles of dravya karma or having the effect of dravya karma.
Is it possible for me to watch my dravya karma? I mean, is it possible? Is it like a jnata?
Yes, to some extent, yes. See, the way we are observing our prakriti. We are observing file 1 as a gnata drashta. We are observing as we go ahead, we observe the beliefs of file 1, we observe the opinions, we observe the designs of file 1. So these beliefs, opinions, these subtle designs or the subtle things which I have brought with me, these are all the parts of Dravya Karma which is active within me, which are
Okay.
getting discharged. So, of course, as a Shuddhatma, as a pure self, I can observe everything ultimately, relative as well as real. Swapar Prakashak. So, subtlest of subtle, Dravya Karma, yes, Dravya Karma is a Gney and Drashya. But at the moment, for the Mahatmas, we are progressing. So, we are at certain level. As we go more and more, we can observe, we can photograph our inner self, which comprises of spectacles of the Antaskaran also, or the Antaskaran inner vision also. And a small part of it, which I felt or I could observe in some Samayiks, see with each person, my Antaskaran has a different vision or belief.
Correct.
Eventualities separate, but beliefs. For example, for Dr. Radhe, I have a soft belief or a belief of Pujya Bhav. For somebody, I may have a belief that, oh, one has to be careful with him. For some, I have, so these inner beliefs or the inner vision of my Antaskaran spectacle is working for each person. So if I look at that, I'm looking at my Dravya Karma.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I got that.
Yes, because it is driving. See, this is driving my Antaskaran. What is driving? Yes. See, once I had a beautiful things coming out through Dada Bhagwan's help, how my Antaskaran is working. So I was knowing that it is okay, mind, intellect, reflective consciousness, and ego. But then they said, we are not alone. We are the machinery. We are under the influence of your beliefs and opinions. Oh, some light went on to beliefs and opinions, and I have brought so many beliefs in each section or each time of my life and living. I have got so many opinions. Then they said, we are also not only alone. We are under the influence of your subtle weaknesses, anger, greed, pride, discharge, your Kashays, which are, and they said, we are also not alone. We are under the influence of your intents and motives or purposes at different times. So this is how the wonderful Antaskaran mechanism goes on working. And if I understand that, I can understand that, oh, with change of my intention, everything will change. Or if I look at my discharging pride or discharging greed, then I can, oh, the entire thing will change. Similarly, I need to know all my beliefs. I need to know what all I have got in different areas, beliefs.
Well, I'm just scratching the surface. You guys are way ahead of me, but thank you.
Nobody is a way ahead and nobody is a way behind. We are all sailing in Dada Bhagwan's Akram Vignan train. Maybe
I mean, just to watch my Antaskaran itself is such an effort. Doesn't come easily.
No, it will come. You just pray Dada Bhagwan that, oh, Dada Bhagwan, give me the inner strength and Jagruti to watch the Antaskaran of Lalita. And
90% after the event.
That's okay. That is okay. Even after the event is good. At least you saw it.
Yes.
So Dadaji said that since we are having, we are pure soul self, God of infinite knowing and seeing power, avoid of infinite energy or strength, never say that I can't do this or I am unable to do this. Say, oh Dada Bhagwan, give me the strength to do this.
Okay. Thank you. Jai Sachidanand.
Okay, Jai Sachidanand. Lalita Ben will bring you back in the end to share. You can share your experience on Maan. Okay, Jai Sachidanand.
I don't know about that, Sachidanand.
No. You have to give that experience of pride in you. What happens, every day when pride gets on the top and when you get on top of pride. Think about it. You'll have 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. Gita Ben?
जय सच्चिदानंद, रजनीकांत अंकल साहब, दीपकानंद जी, जय सच्चिदानंद,
Jai Satchidanand.
शैलेशानंद जी, जय सच्चिदानंद. My question is, in our Mahatma, how I can see real Shuddhatma? Sometimes it see बुद्धि टेक ओवर कर लेता है शुद्धात्मा देखने के लिए. तो हाउ कैन आई सी विथ रियल शुद्धात्मा in others?
What I perceive and feel and experience is, we have to follow Dadaji's agnyas. So I said, Dadaji, give me the strength to see with relative and real darshan. So go on doing relative, real Shuddhatma, relative, real Shuddhatma. There is no need to analyze it further. It will go on working itself. And second thing, buddhi and no buddhi, leave it aside. I just see relative in Gita Ben, real Shuddhatma, relative Deepakanandji, real Shuddhatma. No sooner I see Shuddhatma, the relative effects will go away. If I don't see Shuddhatma, I'll have relative effects that this person is straightforward, this person will do whatever one likes it, this person is talkative, this person is not. So the relative repercussions will come up. But when as soon as I see relative Gita Ben in real Shuddhatma, I will become Shuddhatma. I'll see Shuddhatma and relative will become relative. Repercussions will mellow down. Even if it doesn't mellow down, I'll become separate. It will not have influence on me.
Okay. No.
So do whatever Dada Bhagwan has said us to do. Don't ponder whether I'm seeing really or with buddhi and relative. No, nothing. That itself gives scope to buddhi. So let it do whatever it likes. I just relative real Shuddhatma, relative real Shuddhatma.
Yeah.
And the science will work itself and will show us the experience results in the form of experience by itself.
Okay, Gita Ben?
I understand all this. Thank you.
I come to your home, you have made a nice dish, and then I have just to taste and enjoy it. And if I go on asking you whether you made it properly and correctly and what you used and what not, then you will say me, why are you calling it? Enjoy the dish.
Yeah.
Similarly, we have to enjoy this Gnan as it is.
Yeah. Correctly. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand. Kirti Ben?
Shaileshanandji. Jai Satchidanand Shaileshanandji, Jai Satchidanand Deepakanandji, Rajnikant Bhai, Jai Satchidanand Sarve Mahatma. Sorry, I would like to understand a little more about nature. When I wake up in the morning, I open the window and I see very nice rays of sun, the water, the sprinkler from the water, the wind, the trees. So I feel so humble when I see them. The way the Vitrakta in me, all this naturally they are abundance amount of giving, and I just see them as a very feel very fortunate and very humble with their presence and their Vitrakta, the way they are flowing their life. I see relative, I would like to, it makes me very happy. And how do I see that nature with their Vitrakta? How do I digest? I want to see that with the Dada's drashti, that's what I see them with relative, but under Baithela Sankhya Dev Jone just feel so humble. Please explain through a little more in that.
So, Kirtiben, when is looking at the nature, feels happy, humble. There are two things. Number one, it is Kirtiben's feelings, and Kirtiben is feeling happy and humble. You as Shuddhatma are knowing that Kirtiben is feeling happy with the plants and trees and floras and fountains. So whatever is coming and going in the Kirtiben is a Gney and Drashya. You as Shuddhatma has to see that. Where Kirtiben is feeling happy and where Kirtiben is not feeling happy. Number two, you are feeling happy in such because it's a Sahaj Avastha, it's a ego-less Avastha. You don't find ego into. So Sahaj Avastha, that's why you feel happy. Now, third thing, you have to see relative and real in them also, in plants and floras and faunas also, you see relative and real Shuddhatma. Now,
yes,
there are several angles of seeing at the things. When Dadaji used to see the things, he used to see that Bhogavata, means what's the suffering? The tree is standing there for hundreds of years, or 100 years, or 50 years. So from another angle, it is suffering. It's imprisoned. The pure soul is imprisoned into that particular phase. But leaving aside that, one more thing. Do you think the nature is there, what you described, it's only nature? No. Nature is everywhere. Nature means scientific circumstantial evidences. Nature is within you also. Apart from everything other than Shuddhatma or pure soul self is a nature, inside as well as outside. Right now we are interacting with each other. That's also nature right now.
But I feel very happy in their presence.
That is what I'm coming to. Why we don't feel happy with the humans? Because there's a ego shades. Or our Prakriti also comes up with opinions and egos and other inner weaknesses. And we also see the inner weaknesses in the other form. So that's why even though there is a nature, we are not feeling happy. Why we were feeling happy with the Gnani Purus? Because the shades of ego and weaknesses and inner impurities were gone. So they were living naturally with the nature. Their relative body form also had become natural, such. That's why we were feeling happy with them. So my idea of telling sharing this thing is nature is not only in the trees and birds and this, nature is everywhere. Nature means scientific circumstantial evidences. Nature means interplay of 5 elements in the present of the Chaitanya or the pure conscious. Rest of the things constitute the nature. Nature's job is to accumulate and disperse the scientific circumstantial evidences within and without. So everywhere there is a nature. How you look at the things is first the quality of our vision. So whether we see relative, real, and second thing, Gnani Purus in the same world felt happy everywhere with all of us. We are not feeling happy with our own self. He was blissful with all of us. Why? Because his relative vision was so clear that he saw everybody innocent. Nirdosh drashti karine, nirdosh joyu. Andar Shuddhatma joyu. So with this same set of things, he was blissful at the height of the bliss. And we are not feeling happy.
When I see, I feel confident that I'm a real viewpoint. I'm Shuddhatma Chu. And when I see, I feel sad sometimes. And that's what go ahead.
Go ahead. First thing, you are Shuddhatma, you have to see Kirtiben, where Kirtiben is happy and where not happy. Kirtiben is happy with the trees and plants and birds. Kirtiben is not happy with the mass of human beings or interacting with the human beings. Am I right? Or partly right?
Yes.
Or whatever it is.
Yes.
So you have to tell Kirtiben that Kirtiben, everything is nature's creation. Everything is nature's creation. So if you are not feeling happy, it is your defect of your relative vision. See relative real Shuddhatma. See what is positive. Dadaji said even bubble tree is useful, full of thorns. But you can't say that why there are thorns, because it's a natural creation and there you look at the qualities, you look at the positive thing, you look at the medicinal properties, you look at how many qualities that has. So in a relative positive vision, in a real pure vision. When you see Shuddhatma, when you see everything is a natural creation, when you can see the positivity, you will be happy with everyone and everywhere. So if I am not feeling happy, in my relative self not feeling happy, first I should be able to see that. Then prajna, or the inner enlightened vision, will give the light to Prakriti, will clear the vision of Prakriti, what Dravya Karma of Prakriti, and will make so clear and transparent that it will feel happy, or will be such vitarag, Paramanand Swarup everywhere. So right now we are not feeling happy somewhere, and we are feeling that's the problem of our file 1 as a Prakriti level. And that's a problem because of the discharge vision is not yet totally appropriate or cleared up. So it can't see the things as they are in the nature. Every human being, every living being is a natural creation. It's a plant or a tree in the garden of a nature. Right?
So the in the light, in the sun's light, and in the moon's
That's
prakash, all that energy, there is a energy, there is a
it is
pure,
it is,
but natural form.
But yeah, it is in a natural form. But when you say natural, I'm asking you the question: what is unnatural? Where is unnatural? Where is there is no nature? Show me where there is no nature.
Everywhere is nature.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. What appears unnatural to me is my problem of my relative vision. દાદા ભગવાને કીધું કે અવસ્થા માત્ર કુદરતી રચના છે, તેનો કોઈ રચનારો નથી અને તે વ્યવસ્થિત ભાવે જ રહેલી છે. તો પછી કુદરતી રચનામાં અનનેચરલ ક્યાં આવ્યું?
No, there is all nature.
I fully agree that our Prakriti is happy in such natural environment because there is no ego shed, there is its sahaj, and we feel energetic. But that is at the relative level. That is fine. It is welcome. Simultaneously, as a Mahatma, we should have inner awareness that this is file 1, which is feeling happy and unhappy. I am Shuddhatma and I'm seeing relative and real Shuddhatma. I am same everywhere with everyone.
So with Dada's vision, when I see that I'm Shuddhatma,
yes.
So I am, when I'm in that state, when I completely believe, and then I feel that I'm relative view, from relative viewpoint, I'm Kirti, but in reality, Dada has blessed me. Dada is within me. So am I going toward their sahajness?
Not only Dada is within you, but you have to have that I am Shuddhatma and I'm seeing relative real Shuddhatma into that.
Right. So I'm going toward
Dadaji
closer.
also told us, Dadaji also said that sometimes our Prakriti is comfortable. Thandak lagi, maja avi. ઉકળાટ લાગ્યો, નથી ગમતું, નથી ગમતું, નથી ગમતું. બંનેને જોવાનું, you have to know and see both the things. You don't become entangled into that. We become entangled into that. If something is comforting to our body, mind, or speech, we get entangled. If something is uncomforting to our body, mind, and speech, again we get entangled.
Okay.
We can't remain as knower and seer, aloof of it, unaffected of it. That's where the next step of Jagrati is leading us to.
So how do I see them when I wake up in the morning? Just sahaj?
You see them, you tell Kirtiben, go enjoy, sit with them. I'm Shuddhatma, I'm watching you, knowing and seeing you. You see relative and real into them. It's no harm in Kirtiben being with them or enjoying or be comfortable, but I should be aware that I'm Shuddhatma, I'm knowing this also, I'm seeing relative real. Otherwise, we'll get lost, entangled into the contradictory situations.
Okay.
When you will be put away from such things, Kirtiben will be suffocated. Because Kirtiben has enjoyed one thing, Kirtiben will not enjoy something else. And let Kirtiben do it, but when we get entangled into it, we become the sufferer. Shata or Ashata ma apne badi jaisu.
Shata.
આ તો શાતા અને અશાતા એ પ્રકૃતિના લેવલ પર છે. It is to be known and seen, not to be experienced as a pure soul or pure self. I hope I'm getting to the point.
Yes.
What you described is Shata and Ashata at the level of Prakriti or a relative self.
Say that again, please.
What you described initially was a Shata and Ashata, comforting situation and discomforting situation at the relative level or the Prakriti level.
Okay.
And one as a pure soul self is totally separate from Shata and Ashata, can never experience it, only can know and see it.
Only. Yes.
So when we become the experiencer of that, we are losing our seat and going to the relative.
Understand.
This is a subtle thing, but yes, sooner or later we have to go there. Otherwise, we may suffer uncomforting also.
Yes.
One who is in habit of tasting the comfort will have to taste the discomfort also.
Yeah. Very good.
Okay.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. Okay, Deepakanandji. Now our prime time.
Jai Sachidanand. Shaileshanandji, you being a professional doctor, and I believe definitely you would have come across situations where you're not.
Deepakanandji, we want to take Lalitaben first, or?
Yeah, better. Then we'll take. Then doctor will share his experience.
Yeah. So why don't we take Lalitaben first?
Okay. Dr. Lalitaben.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. So, okay, please go ahead.
No, first introduce the topic.
Okay, Jai Sachidanand. Lalitaben and Dr. Shaileshanandji, we have now gone further to Maan, that is pride. How our pride gets hurt, and in our dealing with others, how we hurt other people's pride. And we have seen that Mahatmas have shared their experience, and it has really thrown a wonderful light on pride. Not only that, how you resolve and what Dada has, or how Dada has guided us overcome that pride. That is how to do Pratikraman and it doesn't show up again, or if it shows up, then you know how to handle that. So, Lalitaben, this is going to go on for 2 weeks. So this is the first week, and no, I believe this is now one Sunday. So the first week is ending. So here, we would like you to share your experience as being a professional doctor, medical doctor. You would have definitely come across situations where your pride gets hurt, and maybe sometimes even other people's pride get hurt by you. So can you please share your experience in that regards?
I will.
Please.
Before Dada, my personality was very confrontational. And Radhibai always said I did not have Syadvad Vani. I thought I was calling a spade and would defend myself. And he kept telling me that's not the way to do it. But that was before Dada. After Dada, his grace descended on me. My confrontational personality changed without any personal effort from me. And, some examples, like when you have a clinical case and you know you're right and the other person is wrong, to insist on your viewpoint was, Dada's teaching, not to insist on your viewpoint. And I would back off. And the personality change that occurred in me was, I decided that to be non-threatening to my colleague. And so, I remember like during residency, you'd have difficult case section, and I would say, I'd call the case for a section, and the fellow resident would go on and on, let the patient labor, just things like that, and afterwards we would have a confrontation about it. But after meeting Dada, that kind of confrontational approach from me changed. And Syadvad Vani, I'm still working on it. I don't have it, and I don't know how many people I have hurt. Those I've consciously hurt, I've tried to do Pratikraman for. And most of them are family members. So it's not necessarily professional, it's just, a personal. But some of the things that Dada has transformed in me is to become non-threatening to my colleagues. There are times that I still have had conflicts, but nothing that could not be resolved. That's what I want to say.
Okay, but when you said you consciously hurt your family members at times, so how would you do that? I don't know.
It's because my Prakriti was like that. I had to have the last word. And whether they were right or wrong, I had to finish off this argument.
Yeah,
and I know that they were not happy with that. That was my Prakriti. Still, it's a work in progress. The change is subtle, but people have come and told me, you have changed after you met Dada. And I don't think I made a personal effort. It's Dada's grace.
That's the case with everyone. Actually speaking, it has just happened. So the darkness just went away because of the light of knowledge light, what that opened by His grace within us.
I'm a direct recipient of His grace. And that's the surgery He did on me, let alone my surgeries on people.
How about instances where others had hurt your pride?
It's more on like a professional setting, on a clinical thing, when I was right. They would, what should I say, roll over my objections and do it their way, kind of stuff. But I had to just swallow that because, they weren't taking care of the patient, and you have to have one chief and the rest Indians. You can't have 10 chiefs calling the shots.
Just repeat this.
You have to have one leader and the rest following. You can't have 10 leaders.
Okay, chief, you said.
Chief, like American.
No, I got it. When you said leader, I got it. I didn't really get it. I said, wow.
Yeah, it's a saying here. You have one chief and the rest are Indians. Matlab, native Indians.
Red Indians, you want to say?
We don't call them red Indians. They call native Indians.
A better way to say, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Shaileshanandji?
Yes.
Please. Yeah.
Though with Ajnan in inner bliss, I'm Shuddhatma, but the discharge pride is still there. I started seeing that in my initial Samayik prayogs, and I could see that I am Shailesh is still not gone. The discharge name and name, the effects of whatever comes on the name. Somebody says you did not do good. No, I did not like your thing, then it gets affected. That's the subtle pride which I could see. Then I could see that whenever the people behave nicely and sort of thing, then that discharge ego, discharge pride or discharge ego, whatever you say, gets little satisfied. Oh, it's good. These are good people. But whenever the people doesn't recognize it, in Gujarati we say, or in English, he doesn't understand me or my level of understanding, then there is no reaction. But inside there is little unhappiness of that part or that pride part. So we'll keep away or we'll let them live their way, something. But that is a subtle pride which is seen when it gets boost or when it gets not directly hurt. I'm not so fortunate that the people come and hurt me, but at least I have seen that whenever they do not understand or sort of at that level, the discharge pride does come into play or is seen there. Similarly, one of my staff is a good person, but he's a different personality. Whatever he understands, he says, sir, why don't you do this? You do this. So he tells me twice or thrice. Mostly I won't retaliate or will take it, but sometimes I say, listen to me. I am also have some understanding. So then I see that I am boss or you are boss. I don't express, but inside that comes up. and especially when, as Lalita ji said, when the relative self Prakriti feels that my understanding is correct and he is not understanding is all right. But despite not or less understanding, he is still showing power or overpowering or trying to thrust, why are you not doing? So at that time, I can see that discharge pride of Shailesh. To be very honestly, I can see that discharge pride in sons also, because with Aptaputras also, with other people, most of them are good and nice most of the times, but not necessarily that. So I just keep on observing that, and it's good that I can sit in Shuddhatma and my Prakriti is also fine, left all alone, but at least I can see that and there, that the people having less understanding from Shailesh's framework are shining more and putting me aside or it's so something like that, not exactly, but these are the occasions when I can see the discharge pride. એટલે Dadaji, what Dadaji said, ke pride or ego, when it gets feed or boost, it swells up. Oh, nice. When it gets hurt or not boosted, then it gets shrunken. So that discharge ego, and especially with the name and name-bearing effects, I can see that.
Okay, one more thing, definitely in your long professional life, career, you would have come across some failure somewhere.
Yes,
that might have very badly hurt your feeling, maybe hurt your pride. Can you relate that?
Failures in which sense are you referring?
Patient.
Yes. So results-wise.
Result-wise, yeah.
Yes. Number one, as a surgeon, ophthalmic surgeon, we have many instances which slaps our ego and keeps it at the ground level only. 3 case nice, 4th case some here and there, and nature slaps your ego. So we ophthalmologists, even amongst ourselves, we discuss that mostly we are kept humble by nature.
I see. You're fortunate that your profession itself keep you humble.
Yes.
Doesn't allow you to boost your ego.
Upright, there is one slap. something here and there going in some patient, and I come to the ground. So this is one thing. So second thing, patient comes to know later on. I come to know first that there is something which has gone wrong despite all my efforts, or there is a problem. So that night is a sleepless night for Shailesh. Despite all Shuddhatma, all Dada, all everything, at the relative level, that night is a sleepless night. Whenever there is any complication into any patient, be it Shailesh's mistake or not mistake. And there is a dictum in us that one who says I don't have complication is not operating at all. One who is operating will have complications. That's a dictum. And there's a huge book of complications with any greatest surgeon of the world. And we have these sessions where one openly confesses what I could not have done or what I could have done better. So these are the natural things in my profession, which keeps my ego at the ground level or which beats my pride at the natural level. And second thing, nowadays, patients also become upfront with us. Because
how is that? How is that?
How is that?
I mean, how do they do that? I would say that.
Patient feels that his result is not to the mark. Patient feels that doctor has looted me or taken more money, and they become aggressive with us. They become confrontational with us. We have to forcibly tell our relative self, put eyes on your head, be in Gnan, be professionally also Shuddhatma. Otherwise, nowadays, people beat the doctors also in India. So
they are Google experts.
So,
right?
They are
Google experts.
Rajani Bhai, there are instances of our fellow friends who are beaten by the mob. So we have to have the groups formed, that the emergency groups, if somebody has a problem, the emergency group is rang up and the other people have to come to his or her rescue. So this is the situation. So there is no space for our pride to get inflated.
To blow up, inflate.
To blow up in the present day practice. So sometimes the patient gets confrontational, sometimes, and patients are patients, and they have their own levels. So, but yes, with Dada's Gnan, after a while, we come all right. And even if sometimes Prakriti has reacted, I can feel separate, or I can immediately say, Shailesh Bhai, you have lost your command, come back.
Right. Dr. Lalita Ben, are you there?
Yes, she was there.
No, she's there.
Yeah.
Can you share your experience in this regard where you came across failures and you had nightmares, maybe?
Oh, plenty. Lawsuits. This is a litigious
My
society.
God.
And my profession is one of the highest sued professions for bad outcomes.
Yes.
And so, yes, I have had that. And the legal language that comes out makes you feel like you could crawl under the earth. They make you feel like you're the worst kind of human walking this earth. The kind of language that the lawyers throw at you. And, the lawyers all look at it as just courtroom drama or whatever. But the first time that happened, I was crushed, totally crushed, because this was a bad outcome with a dead baby, and the mother came late, and the diagnosis was made when she came in. We had a dead baby, but she felt like we should have done something earlier. And, it ended up in a lawsuit, and that was my first time in this profession. That was 1 year before I met Dada. And
then how many years of practice was then?
Huh?
How many years of practice was then?
About 2 or 3 years. 2 years.
That's it?
Yeah.
That
I met Dada in
early.
82 and I started practice in 79. Anyway, it happened to be settled, but before that, not knowing my true self, this kind of barrage of legal words, I thought like I should just hang it all up, quit my practice.
Yes, Doctor.
Go ahead.
Shaileshanandji.
I can see pride, and I have to sort of, with Gnan or with whatever, I have to control it, because the other people will have the weapons of their Kashays. They will throw more everything at you, ego, pride. They will speak the language of Kashays. And you have to refrain from using your Kashays. So that's the moment which is the most
challenging part,
requiring moment, or most challenging part.
Right.
Because others leave aside appropriately or inappropriately, but throwing all the weapons at you
conveniently,
using weapons of Kashay.
Just
and you
like
are
to...
not allowed to use the weapons of Kashay.
No.
Because Dadaji taught us that he never...
I mean, do you have any kind of ethics in this regard in your field?
Sorry?
Such as?
Any kind of ethics which doesn't allow you to do this?
I don't understand. I mean...
in the sense like how you have certain things as a professional, as a doctor, medical doctor, you have some ethics which you have to follow, and that's it. You cannot cross. People can do anything.
Ethics.
Correct. We do. We can't, everything has to be done. If you have a lawsuit, it has to be answered legally. You cannot go and beat up the person or hire gundas to beat up the person.
See, there are
all
two
legal
types of ethics, Deepakanandji. One is the professional ethics of treating the people. One is the behavioral ethics. So people can do whatever but you can't do.
Yes.
You can't cross the line of professional dignity. And I tried to learn not only from Gnan, but I tried to learn from few of my friends who remain so quiet. Leave aside Gnan. But they are better off than me. So I see that, and I try to incorporate that. Sometimes my Prakriti may get little short-tempered.
Did you inquire any time what made them so cool?
Yes, I sit with them. I see with them. See, there are two aspects of the story. One is they have taken it more professionally, or they have understood the professional attitudes better, or to remain professional. They means a little superficial or little detached as a professional. And another thing is they have their inbuilt Prakriti qualities also sometimes. So I consciously see those type of things.
Naturally gifted qualities.
And I compare with my Prakriti and then tell the inside that, oh, you need to be still more quieter like them.
Correct.
Quieter and smiling, whatever the people do.
Right.
See, this is when the other people have right to use Kashays with you while dealing with you. You don't have rights to use Kashays in dealing with them.
Correct.
And as you were saying, your behavior should be such that their Kashays also get quietened down. I heard your sentence. As Mahatma, your dealing should be such that their Kashays
should subside. Yes, they should subside. You cannot be an instrument to
provoke them,
instigate or provoke their Kashays. Absolutely. No, I just wanted to share one example. One medical doctor who recently, had recently passed, and came out and started practicing. First patient died on the OT, operation theater. Operation table, they say. And she was so much carried away by the situation. In fact, she went into depression, and for years together, she could not come out. Finally, she did some, pharmaceutical assistant this thing. And being a medical doctor, she was working in pharmacy dispensing, I mean,
Sir,
medicine.
Deepakanandji, recently one gynecologist committed suicide.
Oh,
There was no fault of hers, but the mob was so aggressive. It was politically motivated and backed up. The lady was so disturbed, she hanged herself up, leaving the husband and children.
oh
So
my
our
God.
profession has many challenges nowadays.
Right.
Anyway, we were talking about the pride. So this is where you can observe the pride, and despite all the Gnan, the discharge pride has not gone away. Mahatmas has to be watchful. It just is combined with the discharge ego, I would say. And you will realize it more when somebody is hurting it, somebody is insulting, or somebody is undermining it. Then it will come up, why you are not considering me. Otherwise, when there is goody-goody, it will be underground. No need
Right,
to,
right, right.
no need
Everything.
to show pride. But when it is thrown challenged, pride will come up. Oh, I'm still there.
Someone should get onto your nerves, that's it. How about you, Dr. Lalitaben?
Yes.
Did
The
any
question?
time you came across anyone getting to your nerves like that?
Well, with we have a lot of patients who come with Dr. Google, and you have to sit and answer all those questions, And I have to say that if you want me to take care of you, we have to put Google aside. Sure, it's good to go get your questions answered. I'm sorry, my dog is barking.
That's okay.
But
He wants attention?
no, she's barking at something going on the street.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a constant problem. I'm fully retired now, and I'm thankful because it's a litigious society for doctors. If you have a bad outcome, they're just going to take you to court. You can rest assured you're going to have a lawsuit filed. Obstetrics is high risk and neurosurgery is high risk of all the medical professions. And so I'm glad I'm out of that now. But I have one experience to share
Doctor
with
is waiting for that. We are also waiting for that.
Go ahead, your experience.
The last lawsuit we had was my partner and me. We had done some surgery on a patient. There was a complication, and we called the general surgeon. He took care of it. But for some reason, she had a rough post-op course. And I went to see her, and I prayed for her, did 3 mantra for her, and put little ash, Sai Baba's ash on her forehead. Well, anyway, she had a very rough post-op course, and she sued. And she recovered, but she sued, and I did Pratikraman to her, Shuddhatma. I did Pratikraman to the lawyer who slung all the mud at us. And do you believe the case went to court, and they found my partner was the defendant. They found the case for him, and she got nothing, not a dime. And to me, that is Dada's grace. Because 6 months before the case, her lawyer who did all the mudslinging, he got disbarred from the state. I mean, it was like a soap opera. And I was just seeing things were just falling away. And finally, when it went to court, the jury found in favor of the doctor, and they said the patient didn't have a case.
Oh.
So this to me is the power of Dada, and I quit my business after that.
Also, that happened very recently.
Yes, it happened in 2019.
Oh, that means just before Corona, just or
Yes.
during the time of Corona.
Mhm.
So we can say this pride thing also simple, but it is quite complicated and delicate. I would say that dealing with your own self and dealing with others, you have to really mindfully manage very carefully and see that others are not hurt. That's very good. Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Satya, very
Jai
good. Thank you, Lalita Ben, for participating. And our time is up. So, Shaileshanandji, please do three mantras. Lalita Ben, please follow.
Okay.
Namo Vitragaya.
Namo Vitragaya.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Vajjayanam.
Namo Vajjayanam.
Namo Loe Savasahunam.
Namo Loe Savasahunam.
Eso Panchanamukaro.
Eso Panchanmukaro.
Savapavapanasano.
Savapava
Mangalanam cha Sauvesim.
Mangalanam cha Savesim.
Padmam Havai Mangalam.
Padamam Havai Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai
Jai Sachidanand. Tomorrow is Monday. We are starting with another week and we are going to continue with the 3 sentences of separation and the pride part of the 6th Kashay. We'll keep a watch on it, and please, I request all Mahatmas to share your experience in the 9 p.m. Satsang. We are really coming out with more things, detailed day-to-day living, and I believe we will have a practical touch and understand and live better. So the rest of the program would be tomorrow, 6:30 Pratavidhi, 10:15 Gujarati Satsang. 3 p.m. we will have Hindi Satsang, 4:30 Kirtan Bhakti and Aarti. 9 p.m. We will have worldwide Gujarati Satsang, and in that 3 separation sentences and pride, on pride we will discuss. Please come and share your experience openly. Just now I came across, I had a thought that all these married Mahatmas, we have our problem, but all these married Mahatmas, they're dealing with their husband, how their pride gets affected or hurt, how they hurt other better halves pride, and let us come out. I feel this would be a very good thing for us because we'll have practical solution, and what Dada has given, please come and share. It's a very hearty request. Jai Sachidanand.
Jai
Jai
Sachidanand.
Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.